You're listening to a Roddenberry podcast.
If it looks like a zombie, it shuffles like a zombie, and it grunts like a zombie, well, it might just be a Moss and Klingon hybrid. Everybody, watch your exposed fleshy parts. It's 7 Pacific, it's Monday night, and we're here, and you're right there with us. It's Mission Log Live. I'm John Champion.
And I'm Heather Ray Barker. And I'm just wondering, John, are we allowed to say the Z word tonight?
Look, if Pike said it, I think we can say it.
All right.
There's so many zombie shows where they don't say zombie because it's not a word that exists in the show. Pike, he's the captain. He came right out and said it, right?
Zombies. Zombies are canon. I mean, so technically it's not the first time that we've seen zombies before,
Right.
zombies-ish. We've seen
Yeah.
them in Enterprise. And there's been non-canon zombie stuff in the Star Trek universe. And there have been zombies at Star Trek Las Vegas, which we'll
Yep.
talk about later on.
I love it.
But I'm excited. Zombies. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, yeah. So we're here. We're talking about Shuttle to Kenfori tonight, which there's a little bit of a callback to an episode from season 2, a little bit of a follow-up
Hmm.
to Mbenga's story back in Under the Cloak of War, which I was not here for, but which was a great episode that Shar stood in for. So I'm
Yeah.
excited I might talk a little bit about that.
Cool.
But who cares about what I have to say? We want to hear from all of you out there, all of our favorite people. Everybody knows what to do. There's a Zoom link somewhere in the chat, so please call us. Hop on to the show. Stay active in the chat. Let's see. There's lots of people in the chat. We'll get to you in a minute. I got
Yeah.
distracted. Interact with us. Click the hearts. Click the thumbs up. Especially anytime I mention the word Discord, that I did like 20 times last
There
week.
you
So
go.
that helps
Perfect.
us. You're helping us by doing that.
Well, it was an exciting week because Spike, what am I saying? Spock, finally, he got that education about zombie movies that he was looking for, and we got to reawaken the monster in Mbenga. Now, let us know what you thought about all of that. Earl, of course, is standing by in the Earl Green Room to patch you through, and I can't wait to hear what everybody else has to say. Earl already telling me that we have achieved Hollywood Squares in the Green Room. That is always exciting when it is that packed. So now is your chance. You can join in the fun as well. Just click on that Zoom meeting link and we will see you in there shortly. But wait, Heather, what's going on in the chat?
So much I can't keep up. I can never keep up. Okay, Jane. Oh, I was going to say Dave to catch you, but Jane popped up. So hi, Jane. Hi, Dave. Let's see. Brandon, Paul Wright. We have a Paul Fecta, I was
We
told. We have all the
do.
Pauls in here.
That's
Um,
exciting.
let's see. The Welch guy is back. Let's see. I saw Mona earlier. I know Mark was here. Julian Allen's here. Oh gosh, I'm gonna miss people. You guys are talking too much and you're
I'm
BC.
Yeah, BC. There was also a BA in there. BA and
BA.
BC hopefully have some chat there. I don't think BA as in Mr. T from the A team. I don't think so. But there
No.
is, let's see, some less familiar faces. We got Julian, we got Ryan. So all of you folks, if you're brand new, please say hello. And of course, for all of our regulars, say hello to those brand new folks. Let's keep that chat going. Everybody is welcome. And of course, if you want to join us live, then you can do that too. And as Heather said, click the thing, share the thing, tell each other hello. Let's keep that algorithm active and let YouTube know that we are here. By the way, Ashley, very own co-host of Genealogy, wishing everybody well from the final night of EarlCon. Yes, it was EarlCon 25 over the weekend. And as Ashley pointed out, the largest gathering of Roddenberry podcast hosts anywhere other than San Diego Comic-Con. So I was bummed to miss it, but next year we're hoping for EarlCon 26. I hope we all get to be there for that. We
Yeah.
can even do the
I've
live
got
show from there.
I've got the FOMO. Like, who cares
Yeah,
about STLV when there's EarlCon?
yeah.
Like, man. So yeah, next year, everybody, we're going to EarlCon. It's gonna be amazing. There's t-shirts. So get your order in for next year. It could be a new t-shirt next year, I assume. This
Yeah.
this year's
Oh,
T-shirt
yeah.
was exclusive.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get it, sorry.
Too bad. Nope. Just got to be there for
That's it.
EarlCon 26.
That's it. Next year. Okay. All right. So this week, Roddenberry podcast, all the
Ooh,
stuff
yeah.
sorta
Yes.
is going on. Okay. So mission log, still doing Voyager. We're still voyaging.
Still are.
Uh,
Yeah. We got more than half of season 7 to go. Yeah.
we're almost there.
Yeah.
Nightingale this week. It's a Harry Kim episode.
You know,
Uh,
about time that he got promoted. Oh. Oh. Okay, no
um,
spoilers here.
Dun dun dun. I know Norm will have things to say.
Yeah.
Directed by LeVar Burton, though, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you're right. Yeah. Good
Okay,
call.
so it's got that going for it.
It
Like,
does.
yay. I love anything directed by someone who's already done Star Trek, so that's pretty great. What about genealogy?
Okay, genealogy, well, it's on hiatus, but it will return next Monday, August 4th, with the first look at the Gene Roddenberry scripts for a series most people probably don't know about. It's called Jefferson Drum, and it is a series about a single dad running a newspaper in the Wild West. And I cannot wait for people to hear the discussion in that series. So, Genealogy coming back. If I'm not mistaken, I think Gene wrote 4 episodes of that series. So, Earl and Ashley will be discussing that. Trek Files also on hiatus. It will be returning soon. We will have a return date for you when we determine one. But watch this space. And remember that both of those shows dig deep into the Roddenberry archive to give you the most complete picture of Gene's creative work. So what are you waiting for? Check it all out, right?
Jefferson Drum. It's always
Yeah.
like the most intriguing titles that he comes up with. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, what? If you didn't know, if you didn't have that little synopsis, you'd be like, what? Jefferson Drum. Like, what could that possibly be? But then you go and okay, anyway, you'll listen, you'll learn, you'll know, you'll be educated, and then you move on.
Exactly.
John, you went somewhere like that everybody, well, except me. I actually don't want to go to San Diego Comic-Con because there's too many people, but you went.
Yes, and there are too many people, but there was a little bit of Roddenberry representation. We got to team up with our friends at fandom.com and do a little meetup thing. We just Roddenberry kind of provided the opening act for that, and that was nice. And then I had a great panel with Liz Klukowski, Ben Robinson, and Doug Drexler talking about various bridges of various enterprises. That was a lot of fun. But I also got to swing by and see our friends over at Factory Entertainment. It was so cool. The Comic-Con exclusives were great. I got to hold the Gary 7 servo. That it's just, I mean, they make stuff that just feels real, you know? And the most amazing thing was getting to open the case and hold the Strange New Worlds phaser. It's just, here's the thing, it's better than what you have on screen, right? Because a prop maker had to create it out of whole cloth, and they had to, figure out 3D parts, 3D printing, and kind of shape them to get a one-off that'll work, right? But then Factory comes along, and now how can we manufacture it and make it perfect? And let me tell you, it is beyond perfect. One day, maybe at STLV, when you get to hold one in your hand, you will be blown away. That was so cool. They've got stuff from the Bond films. They've got Galactica. I got to see the super high-end ships. So they had that Voyager there. I will post pictures of that in Discord. They had the Titan, aka Enterprise G there. Beautiful, beautiful models. Everything there was just awesome. So glad to see those guys. And you can't get the exclusives anymore, I don't think, unless they maybe have some left on the site. But all of you who are listening to us, you can use that 10% off code, which is Mission Log. Get that on your first order. And by the way, if you need the link, just do ! Factory Ent in the live chat right now. And David, I said it, you'll be blown away by the phaser. No pun intended. But that stuff was so cool. All right, Paul is saying right now that the green room is insane. and we've got a lot of people standing by. So, how about I just get right to it? We just get right into the story of Shuttle to Kenfori, Strange New
Can I
Worlds,
say
season
it?
three.
Can I say it?
Yeah,
Can I say it?
please
Okay,
say it.
hit it.
That's what I needed. All right. Pike's ready to say goodbye to Captain Patel, but he finds her collapsed on the floor of his quarters instead. The Gorn infection that they thought was gone is back, and it's aggressive, just like the Gorn themselves. The cure? A rare chimera blossom rumored to chuck the bad molecules right out of your body, but conveniently located on a disputed former Federation colony the Enterprise is very much not allowed to visit. So Pike goes off the books, again, with Mbenga in tow, fully ignoring a Klingon warning beacon on their way to the surface of Kenfori. Down on the planet, things go from quiet research outpost to absolute horror movie. First clue, no animals. Second clue, Klingon skeleton with its rib cage ripped open. They grab the blossom from a deserted research station, but when Klingons torch their shuttle and zombie-like mutants attack, it's clear that things have gone very wrong. Turns out a supercrop experiment involving the Chimera went poorly. And now everyone exposed to it is stuck in a cycle of devouring anything that breathes. Oh, and the Klingons chasing them. One of them has a personal vendetta against Mbenga for killing her father, Ra, and demands a duel to the death. Back on the Enterprise, the crew plays cat and mouse with a cloaked Klingon ship while trying not to violate any treaties, at least not anymore. Ortega suggests a dangerous rescue maneuver and pushes the envelope just far enough that Una has no choice but to go along with it. The ship makes a wild warp dive into the upper atmosphere, rescues Pike and Mbenga just in time, and warps out again before Klingon torpedoes can land a shot. Not everyone is thrilled about the risk, though, and Una grounds Ortegas for forcing her hand. With the Chimera ready, Spock begins the process of creating Batel's treatment, one that will actually hybridize her DNA with the Gorn permanently. Pike's upset that everyone knew except him, but Batel makes it clear she didn't need his permission to survive. Privately, Vega confesses the truth about the death of Ambassador Ra, and Pike decides some stories are better left off the record. The end.
Bravo. Good job.
Thank you. Knocked through that one pretty quick there. I know that we got a lot of callers, but Heather, I always like to defer to you first and just ask like immediate impressions. There's a lot going on.
Look, yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's really difficult for me to talk about this episode without referring to Under the Cloak of War, and I would be here for ages if I said everything I put in my notes. Um, I want to talk less about Una's hair and more about how she
Yeah.
held down the bridge. And my shirt,
Yeah.
A Woman's Place is on the Bridge, is all about
Yes.
that tonight because she's amazing. She's there. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
I just
Yep.
thought she was amazing. And I also loved the fact that, Battelle, it was also about her choice, her body, her rights. I
Hmm.
know that Dr. Nani has some stuff to say about that, and I hope
Right.
that she brings that up when she's on. And I have things to say about veterans' mental health, but I'll tell you where to join me to talk about that later in the show. So,
Okay. Love it. By the way, I hope that canonically, the reason that we don't have number one in Star Trek is because she gets her own command.
yes.
Because she's great and I am here for more of it. If we have to say goodbye to Strange New Worlds, I want a movie, I want something with the Strange New Worlds cast, and I want more of Una in the command chair. She was great.
I love it.
She was
Love it.
absolutely awesome. Well, let's see what our callers think. We do have a full house tonight. So, Chris joining us from the atmosphere with the Enterprise passing by. How's it going tonight, Chris?
Doing well, doing well. Good to see you guys. Yeah, I know
Likewise.
we have a lot of folks in the Earl Green room, full Hollywood
Yeah.
squares tonight. So I
Yes.
will try and be brief. But one thing I really liked about this episode was the sort of juxtaposition between Mbega and Ortegas as two sort of different sides as the veteran experience. You have Mbenga, who I don't want to say is like fully integrated or like resolved
Mm,
his whole war experience, but he sort of understands there was a place for that, and there may be a place for that again. And then you have Ortega's who just like she's still so caught up in it, right?
Yeah.
She's gunning it through space belch. She's doing it. So I just found that very interesting. These two sort of sides of like how it affects different people, how they're able to process or not process it.
Yeah, perfectly said. And by the way, and obviously there's going to be more to be said about all of this as well. But having a contrast between how Mbenga is dealing with this and how Ortegas is dealing with this also made me think of other character contrasts in this show. The difference in like Ortegas completely not playing by the rules, Spock being very much straight and narrow, doing the sort of the conservative, careful choice of what they're going to do. Of course, then Una having to be in command and decide who am I going to listen to and when, and then when do I have to discipline after that, made me think of all of these stories you hear about next gen and going into that, and every writer who was told like, oh no, we can't have conflict. No, there's no conflict between our characters. This is the conflict I'm here for because it really works to serve the story, and it really works to give texture and meaning to these people who are on board and why they think the ways that they do and how they eventually all get along or don't get along, but accept consequence the way that Ortegas does at the end. You know, it pains Una to have to put somebody in their place and say, no, you can't do that, but these are the rules and we're going to go by them. Fantastic stuff. What else, Chris?
I will just say that I was very glad that they just came out and like committed to the zombies. They were like, yes, they're zombies. Like they hung a lantern on it, and then we can move past that and like actually get into the interesting stuff. Get into stuff of Mbenga and Ortegas. Get into stuff of Pike and Batel's relationship. Because I feel like there's a version of this where they try and be coy about it and it doesn't work as well. So I'm glad they were just like, yes, it's zombie week. Have
Yeah.
fun with it. And then we can move on to the interesting stuff.
So you know what's funny about that? All right, in The Walking Dead, you don't call them zombies because you're doing a zombie show. And if you're doing a zombie show where that's a real thing, the pop culture version of zombies don't exist. No, your reality with the walkers, that's what exists. But in Star Trek, what I love is that Pike is making a pop culture reference. You know, and we already had that reference before where Spock says he has to add zombie movies to his research several episodes ago. I can't remember exactly when. So it's a different thing. We've just encountered this phenomenon. Oh yeah, it makes us think of the pop culture thing that is zombies. I think it's pretty clever. So yeah, good call. Any comments, Heather, before we move over to Jason?
I just really admired the fact, shout out to Bill Wolkoff, who was one of the writers, along with Onitra
Yeah.
Johnson, who was one of the writers of Under the Cloak of War, that this episode, was a surface level about monsters on the outside there, but dealt with monsters like literally and figuratively on the inside, like Battelle and her issue with the Gorn inside, and
Hmm.
then our PTSD monsters inside. I just thought that was really well done, and I think surface level when you're reacting to the episode and oh, it's zombies. But when you really take a step back and look at what's there, I just thought that was very well done. And not just because I really like Bill.
Nice. Excellent. Well, Chris, we will move on and hope to see you again soon.
All right. See you guys around. Have a good
All
one.
right. Take
Bye.
care. By the way, somebody in the chat, and I cannot believe that I missed this. Cannot believe it. But they point out that Kenfori is a play on Ken Foree, who was, well, he was a star of Dawn of the Dead.
Ah,
And yeah, and also a director and has
wow.
just done a ton of zombie stuff. So
There you go.
duh.
Love it. Love it.
So
I
so
I
thank you
love the
for that.
writers do that. And that's great. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, whomever said that. But those like little, I don't know. I just love that little attention to detail that these writers throw in. I just think it's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, yeah, Ashley pointing out here, Una comes down on Ortegas for insubordination, but Pike lets Mbenga
Yes.
slide when he
Yes.
literally
Yes.
confesses to murder.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot to be
Hmm.
said about command style here and what flies and what doesn't.
Very
Yeah.
much. Very
Yeah.
much. I could say more, but I won't because we have someone else to talk to.
You could say Mortegas, you mean? All right, well, let's say hi to Jason. Jason, what's up?
Greetings from the land of the rising sun.
Hey, welcome.
It's been a
Let's see.
while.
Oh wait, well, you're going on early afternoon there, right?
Not
Or
quite
oh,
noon. Not quite noon.
okay, okay.
Yeah, almost
Well,
there.
all right. Well, good to see you. And what's on your mind?
Um, okay, what's the difference between Baitha and Mbenga?
What's the difference in them?
Okay,
Meaning,
both of
uh,
them,
yeah.
both of them are going in there, and Mbenga and Pike are, and by of course by extension us, are very much down on the idea of killing for revenge. How stupid is this? How stupid is
Uh,
this? And then at the very end, when Mbenga confesses, he says, "Is it right? Is it legal? But this was a mass murderer. I had justice. Is it
uh,
justice or revenge, Dr. Mbenga?" And then Pike just kind of blowing it off, going, "Well, it never happened. It's okay." So what's the difference
yeah.
between Dr. Mbenga and Baitha, except that we like Dr. Mbenga? And yes,
Yeah.
Babs deserves an Emmy. Please give the man an Emmy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that is quite the ethical can of gach, isn't it? Um, yeah, and I don't know that I have a really good answer for it. And I think the show cleverly, when you go back to Under the Cloak of War, the show very cleverly doesn't let us see or hear the extent of what's going on between Mbega and Rach. So, did Mbenga do that in cold blood, or did he get pushed to the point that it's okay, well, it's so gray if it's not defense, but it's something that he can live with himself for doing it. Ooh, oh wait, didn't mean to quote Cisco there. Uh,
Well,
so
I said in Discord plug, um, that I consider In a Pale Moonlight and Under a Cloak of War beautifully acted, dramatically great, highly entertaining, but I question if it's Star Trek. And
mm,
I'm very much of this opinion right here that I'm questioning Chris Pike. I'm questioning Dr. Mbenga and his actions. And it leaves me with the same sour taste I had with Captain Cisco going, "Computer, delete that log."
yeah, because that's essentially what Pike did.
Yeah.
Yeah, there. What
Yeah.
log? There is no log. There is no story here.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I get that. I think for me, I think that this I have to put the two episodes together because they tell a much larger story, and that story is very much about what happens to us in war. And I'm not a war veteran. I've never seen war. But my father was a Vietnam veteran, and he was a Navy submarine man who was co-opted to be a sniper in Vietnam. And I know from some of what he had told me, and I know from how it changed him I can't say the word, irrecoverably, that as Mbenga said, like war does change people. And I think that there's a commentary here in this episode very much about that. And I am hoping that in the next season and a half. We've still got a good portion of this season left, so there's almost two-ish seasons of episodes that we will see a little bit more regarding PTSD and how Mbenga deals with all of this and those feelings around what he did. Um, because when we meet Mbenga in TOS, he's a different person. He's not holding on to that monster anymore. And I don't think he's going to go to tribunal and be held responsible for what he did. I don't think that's ever going to be out there. I don't think we're that's going to happen. I think there are bigger questions there of who we are when we see the very worst of humanity. And those are just very hard questions to ask and answer. And for me, I can't do that because I've never been to war and I've never seen the terrible things that happen there, and I've never been changed by that. But I think those are the questions that they're asking and leaving out there as answers, if that makes sense.
But I guess for me, I'd have to ask, is there room for a legal consequence? Like, we can even agree that perhaps in some abstract discussion of justice that Mbenga was right. Maybe in some sort of abstract discussion of justice or consequence isn't the word, but I guess ethically, we can understand the act that Sisko took. But if you don't hold these characters accountable, then there is no rule of law. There is no standard to which we're holding ourselves. So Pike just put himself into a weird position here. It's a bit uncaptainly of him to just wash his hands of it and say, yeah, but you're my friend and I trust you. Maybe there is something else to come out of this. I think when we talk about the psychology of it and the personal experience of it, we can all say like, wow, this is a place that I cannot fully grasp because I haven't been there. But if we have this rule by law that we have, this set of expectations and values that we say we all adhere to, then how much do we let them get away with?
I got Michael G in the chat said eventually Mbenga leaves. Oh shoot, it's moving. The chat is moving. Eventually Mbenga leaves the ship, comes back in a lesser role in TOS era. So I think his consequences are yet to come. And maybe we see them, maybe we don't. But I do think it's interesting. And I think that Pike is just a very different captain than we're used to. And I think it's very apparent between him and what we see of Una in this episode.
Hey, because you saw Una, she's absolutely adhering to the rules, Yeah. Jason, thank you for something very thought-provoking. Really appreciate it. We need to move on. If you got a final word, say it now.
No particular final word. I just enjoyed the show and kind of wish they hadn't packed everything all at once. That this is a heavy episode and multiple points, but you have multiple guests who have even more multiple points. So I will bugger off.
All right, Jason, take care. Have a good one. All right, Mark, what is up? What's on your mind?
Hey, John, not
Hey
so
there.
much. I just wanted to say there is a picture of an orange poppy seed cinnamon bun with cream cheese on waiting in the Discord for you to look at.
Hey, I've got some food to add there too, so I will be doing that.
So that I just wanted to start with that. There's a nice orange. I know how much you like your food, and there's a nice orange poppy seed cinnamon bun from an island bakery here waiting for you to look at and
Awesome.
go, I want that. But no, the point I wanted, there was 2 points that I wanted to make. First one is really short. I just wanted to say I'm now thinking that with what's happening with the Captain Patel, that she becomes the new Gorn mother, and all the Gorn we see in TOS are based from her because they have the more humanoid and other things. And so that's might be one way of how Gorn have slightly human DNA to them that allows them to appear slightly more humanoid and slightly less what they look like in this, so that it can make the TOS and even the Enterprise episode they appeared in down the road that you'll be getting to in Mission Log somewhat soon as well. But
that is interesting that people are speculating about that in the chat and in Discord, and I'm very curious to see if they go there. Although I'd be a bit disappointed if we literally turn Batel into a monster, because one of my notes here is that with the little screen time that we've had of Pike and Batel together, it is actually one of my favorite Star Trek relationships. I think it's written in a much more mature, realistic way than pretty much everything else that we've gotten so far. So I'd hate to see this end like, oh, well, boy meets girl, girl turns into a reptile, and that's the end, you know? So what else is on your mind, Mark?
My other point, and I'm going to call Paul T in the chat because we were talking about this during BSG
Hmm.
in an hour before it. Of what's really interesting is the fact that that they don't try and cure the zombies things. Every other doctor we were talking about would have dropped everything and tried to solve the zombie thing. Uh, Bones would have been spending time doing it.
Uh-huh.
Dr.
Yeah.
Crusher would have been doing things. Um, Bashir would have locked himself in a room for a week straight with no food and nothing else trying to solve it, on and on. And I think it's really telling that this is just a quick get in, get out mission. And they didn't know the zombies in quotation marks, since Mbenga says don't call them that. They're Federation scientists. So I'm going to say scientists for my part here. The scientists that had the thing turned to them. Um, you know, I would have loved to have seen them trying to cure it instead of them just trying to get out and get away, because that would have been all the other doctors, which I agree with Paul T, would have uh, tried to cure it. And I think that's a missed opportunity that they're not, because the core part of Star Trek, especially on the scientific side, is trying to cure the unknown so that you can learn about it, but also cure the issues they face. And this one very much reminds me of, say, The Last of Us, with it being based on grain and a plant-based thing, like a spore, not necessarily a spore, but based on a plant-like thing. So it's a shame that it wasn't it's plant zombies instead of Plants versus Zombies, to quote the
Right.
mobile game,
Right.
mobile game.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I just think it's a bit of a missed opportunity. I would have loved them to trying to figure out the cure, and then maybe in the end they did everything they could, and there is no cure, but they tried anyways. And I think that would have made an incredibly powerful episode, because sometimes you can't cure things, no matter what you try. And I think that sends a strong message, as much as if they successfully cured it. And I think that was just a missed chance with this episode.
It's well said. All right. Well, Heather, unless you got a comment about that specifically, we'll go right over to our next caller. But Mark,
All good.
well said. All right.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
that. Yeah, thanks for that input. And let's jump over here to John Arminio. Again, sorry, folks. We do have a packed house, and
Yeah.
we definitely want to get to everybody. What's up, John?
Hi. I'm seeing Strange New Worlds sort of like borrow bits and pieces from a lot of other franchises, including, from Alien and this episode, Last of Us, with, the fungal zombies.
Yeah.
Um, but I can't believe I'm doing this. But one thing that I wish it would take from a little bit is Andor. If it's
Oh, yeah. Well, look, I love Andor.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah, and I think because I think thematically the most interesting thing that Heather, you touched on this as well, that the sort of dual confrontations of PTSD with Ortegas and Mbanga, and it seems like Mbanga, they're both sort of in denial that they're even experiencing PTSD, and I think you see that a lot in Andor. And there's this running theme throughout that series of what does it do to your moral compass, to your soul, and to your cause if you keep making these personal moral compromises for like the greater good. And I think because of Mbanga's experiences, because of Ortega's experiences, they're making these compromises to their morality and to the morality of Starfleet that maybe they wouldn't have done before their trauma. And because Strange New Worlds is going in all these different directions, which is part of what I like about the series, that it can go in so many directions. But when all right, this is going to be the plant zombie episode. I think that's taken away from the thematic depth that some of those characters can be explored with.
I don't disagree. And you've heard us talk about this on Voyager, how even in a 26 episode season
Yep.
in 7 seasons, we go, well, do we really need to spend time with this though? Because there were all these other areas that could have been explored given that 170 something hours that they have, or, however long that is. Strange New Worlds, unfortunately, we're only going to have 46 episodes.
Yeah.
We're basically going to have less than 2 seasons of TOS or 2 seasons of TNG or what have you to tell this complete story. And when you spend a full, 10th of a season on a style,
Yeah.
zombie movie, musical, this, like they're all cool and creative and well produced on their own, but then what does that allow you to tell about the rest of the characters and our bond with the characters,
Yeah.
So I think we got great moments out of this, but I fully understand what you're saying here. Yeah.
And I love seeing Una as the captain, as a sort of a mirror version of a different command style, and I love that we got to see what she would be like as a captain. I'm hoping that maybe at the end of the series she gets her own commission. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I want that to happen. Indeed.
And-
All right. Yeah.
And just one more thing before I go, if we're gonna be revisiting, themes from the original series, I kind of I want like a goofy themed planet. I want Pike to
or gangsters.
gangsters. It'd be nice if we can get Pike on an Old West planet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Completely.
I think that'd be fun.
But wait, is it a Federation colony themed like the Old West? Because they love their themes.
I like the conceit that they're baffled by the fact that one cultural artifact got accidentally implanted onto this planet, and that planet became obsessed with it and became its entire culture.
Yes.
That's silly and fun.
Earl just called it. He named it. It's Hell on Space Wheels.
I'm into it. Let's do
it. All right. John, thanks so much. We'll see you again soon, all right? Be good. Hey, I'm told that we're jumping over to Paul. And actually, that's perfect timing. First of all, you're offering us a toast of red wine. Is that a little Federation Reserve?
No, this is the Boimler. The Boimler.
Oh, it's the Boimler.
Oh, yes. This is Star Trek wine's blue vodka mixed with cran pomegranate. About 50-50, and it's a little much for me tonight. That's why there's a lot of it left.
That's why we're getting you on early.
Yeah, well, the green room was driving me to drink, so anyway.
Well, welcome, Paul. And that's great timing because it's about that time to welcome everybody into Patreon and Discord.
What are they going to miss if you're not on the Discord? You can't go to the party because you don't know about it. I guess if you're on Patreon, you know about it. So give us some money. Give us $1 a month. Give us 20 bucks a month. If it's Earl, give him $100 a month.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to pay for all of this content. Where do you get? There's 11 people in the green room. We must be doing something right. So,
yes.
And I'm not even officially involved. I'm just a guy.
Well, but you're the ringleader. You spearhead the party every year, and it is magnificent. And from everybody at Roddenberry Podcast, thank you for doing what you do, because it is the highlight. It's why I go.
Well,
and,
I tell you, somebody else is going. Heather's coming.
Mm-hmm.
John's coming.
Yep.
And guess who's missing tonight? Tendy is missing.
Oh,
you get to meet Flat Tendy in
we
person.
get to meet Flat Tendy.
Oh yeah, she'll be there.
Can't wait.
We had 11 people in the green room. I got to go quick here. I got a couple things. One, you got Ortegas going crazy, doing her own thing. Not a good move. But I'm telling you, who's really, really out there? This Klingon lady. So, I used to really respect honor, right? Well, is honor revenge now, or what is going on? And John, you know what I need? I need someone who can shed some light on this, like a doctor, an educator, someone who can give me a real opinion. So is there anybody around who can do this?
You know,
I'm here.
Yeah, I think we have that person right now. By the way, you know that the Klingons play fast and loose with honor, just like the Vulcans play fast and loose with logic. You know, whatever supports their presupposed conclusion, that's what they're going to use.
Call that confirmation bias, but yes.
They're lousy with it. Yeah. So yes, Dr. Nani, please enlighten us with some of the concepts
what I
of
was
this
trying
episode.
to explain to Paul in the green room was that, you know, her dad, she thought her dad was a traitor, which of course dishonored her terribly. Of course, Mark pointed out to us that the next 3 generations should be dishonored, so there shouldn't really be anything she can do to undo that. But presuming we don't know that, she wanted to kill her dad so that she could get her honor back, but then Mbenga goes and kills the dad instead. So then apparently the only way she can get it back is to go kill him. And, you know, and I can see that maybe just being that mad at her father also, you know, let's just say Freud would have fun with that one.
Oh, yeah, right. Absolutely. There's a Freudian element to that. Yeah. And although I guess if you're looking at this in the best possible way, I really liked that line or a couple of lines as we got to that death scene where she sacrifices herself to the zombies so Pike and Mbenga can get out of there. Like, she's been dishonored by having her life saved. So who does it serve? Who's going to know that she died an honorable death? And Mbenga says she will, you know, and I will. And that was actually a pretty cool way to wrap up that part of the story, I thought.
But see, is she really doing it to let them go free, or is she doing it because she knows by letting them go free, it gives her back her honor, and she just found the loophole into Stovacor?
Hey, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. That's, you know, it all works out for everybody, right? She gets to go to Stovacor. She gets to look good to these idiot humans. It's like, okay, fine. I'll do this now. I get to fight zombies. Yeah. By the way, since we didn't really hit it too hard, I will remind people, Patreon. That will give you the link to join us at Patreon. You will meet Paul. You will meet Dr. Nani. You will meet Heather. You will meet Shar. You will meet Dr. Mike. I will be there. We will hang out and we'll talk Trek and other nerdity right there in front of everybody. Patreon.com/missionlog, Patreon. But you got to talk to Paul to get on the list. So make sure you do that. Paul, any other comments tonight?
Just honored to be between John Arminio and Dr. Nani. Typically I would have been scared, but she was so gracious to let me interrupt her time here.
But you've got liquid courage with you. So
liquid courage, I'm thinking about party stuff. I'm telling you, just to see your all smiling faces, it's such an honor to be here and in that green room every time I log in. So love you all. We will see you in a week.
Take care, friends. See you then. Nani, anything that we're missing here? Any other important concepts? Because I like this angle with the Freudian nature of the Klingons. At least this one. We have a sample set of one Klingon.
At least one, yes. Yeah, well, actually, given how packed the Earl Green room was, I figured when Paul said you want to go on together, saying yes seemed like a really quick way to get feed 2 birds with 1 scone.
Okay.
That, and I got a meeting at 5, so I've got 16 minutes and I have to go log in. So
okay, get out of here. All right, we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye. All right, let's say hello to Brandon, our BB rounding out the BA and BC. Yeah.
Hi there.
How's it going?
It's going okay. Aside from my main point, one observation I had in this episode was, hey, they have space HIPAA now, because this is the first time that a doctor has been like, I can't tell you that. What are you talking about? I mean, I guess not now. Still, they have space HIPAA still. I guess that's going to get thrown out before TNG or Voyager, because there is definitely the H in EMH does not stand for HIPAA. He will tell anybody who stands in sickbay long enough what is going on with anybody.
Well, and you could anybody can walk into any room and just say, "Computer, play the personal medical log of anybody they want," and the computer's like, "Fine." The other, the codes of the photon torpedo, that's secret, but medical logs, no, go right ahead. Yeah,
yeah. You just go up to the replicator and order tea, Earl Grey spilled.
Yeah. Nicely done.
Thank you. I'm a little proud of that one.
You should be. You should. Yes, wear it proudly. Well, what's other than Space HIPAA? What's on your mind?
Well, like many people, zombies are on my mind. And it felt like a kind of a great metaphor, given how many of these plot lines were resurrected from previous episodes. Which kind of worried me because I'm like, are we moving away from episodic format? I have some notes about that. Primarily don't.
Okay.
But I was kind of I really was sad that they gave us this clarity on Mbenga's like what happened with Ra. I liked the idea that was sort of suggested that it was a quote unquote accident that maybe Mbenga passed on some opportunities to prevent, rather than him being like, oh, this is a great opportunity for murder, and I'm just gonna carpe that DM and stab this dude. I liked it better where it's sort of like, yeah, the nature of humanity is we might subconsciously allow events to unfold in a certain way that we could prevent, but where he's just sort of like, well, you're here, I have a knife. That was, and I don't know that we got that like completely explicitly what he said in that situation. There is still some level of unreliability, but I was just sort of like, oh man, that's
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and does that and gets the tacit approval of his captain.
Yeah. That was, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to take up much time, so I will hand off here in a second, but I do just also want to close by saying that I really appreciated that the zombies interrupted the argument between Pike and Mbenga to remind them, this is a very bad time for this conversation. Talk on the ship, raw.
Impeccable timing. They were scientists. Some of them were scientists.
Some of them were scientists. It's like, this is not a good location.
Scientists.
Yeah.
Yeah. They looked like they were just about getting ready to do some tests for sure.
All right. Brandon, a pleasure. Everybody. Take care, man.
Take care.
Be good. All right. Heather, are you expecting a song tonight?
I don't think we're going to get a song. We've had several good songs so far. Alan gets a break.
Okay. Because, I don't know how you lighten up a zombie murder episode with a song. I mean, if anybody could do it, it would be Alan, but that might be, tonally a step too far. So.
Yeah, you'd think, guys, but no, that's... sorry, everybody. That's not going to happen this week. I will say right off the bat, John Arminio has the idea of the night. I want to see the Richard Linklater box set produced 70s coming of age story Planet.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, of course.
It's just a party at the water tower.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all for that. Let's go there. Let's go to that planet.
Love that idea. Yeah.
But yeah,
I love how we just get more and more niche with every single planet. You could have a quirky Wes Anderson style planet. You could have
Please do.
So that's great. Yeah. You could have a poorly dubbed spaghetti Western planet. That would be I would like to spend some time there too. This is great. This stuff writes itself.
Yeah, Japanese Sentai show planet.
Yes. Yeah.
There we go.
How could there not be? Yeah.
Yeah. Anything is possible on Strange New Genres.
Earl puts in a vote for every John Cusack movie prior to the Grifters planet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're doing that too. All right.
Well, these are all good ideas, but it is not that time. This is the time of the season 3 episode 3 discussion. And I got to talk about our girl Ortegas because I feel like I don't know if anybody else had this feeling, but I right at the very start I was like, did we miss a scene? Because it felt like episode 1, coming out of the hegemony arc, things got really bad for her. But she pulled through it, and we've seen people in Star Trek have bad days, and things get better. And then the next episode, she's sparring with her brother, and things seem fine. Goes through the episode, lighthearted shenanigans and everything's going well. And then at the very end, wham, mystery Gorn face in the mirror. And then we come back.
Oh, and by the way, you mean
episode.
at the end, literally wham.
Wham, yes, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And then, it seems like at some point, she's not there because we come back and she's coming back from some sort of, psych evaluation. And suddenly, everything's cool again. Everything's all right. But then she's getting really, really snippy on the bridge, and Una's just gotta tell her no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. And that was 3 zombies songs, by the way there.
Yeah, it was.
Yep. But yeah, I'm just like my hope is that at some point in this season we do get an episode, and maybe I have no idea. I'm just throwing this out there as pure speculation, and if I'm right, I'm right, and I'll be thrilled. But at some point this episode or this season, I would hope that there's an episode that sort of fills in the gaps and fills in the blanks and shows us, hey, this is why she was on a psych evaluation. This is how things have progressed for her, and because I'm concerned about the course that this is taking for her, and I know that again she's not there in TOS, but hopefully there's a good exit point for her, just like we hope there was for Una. If they can both go off on a ship somewhere and serve somewhere else in the fleet, that's great. But like Brandon before me, I don't want to take up too much time. There are a lot of callers tonight, and I don't want to be the last of us. And Julian's here, and I don't want him to be the last of us too. So have fun, and we'll see you guys next time.
Excellent. All right. Well, take care, Alan, and thanks for the song quotes. Really appreciate it. Julian, where are you? Because that's very cool backdrop you got there.
I'm calling from my very own hydroponics bay. Might not be quite as cool as a hydroponics bay on a starship, but it's my my indoor lettuce farm. And so it's all pink hydroponics and pink LED lights behind me. I'm just working late tonight.
Wow.
So I don't usually get a chance to listen to you live because it's already midnight here where I'm at in Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada. But like I said, I'm working late, so I thought I'd listen in and maybe call in as well.
Wow.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
You're living in Epcot. That's so cool to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one customer who comes in and every time he looks at it, he's like, "This is a spaceship." He's another Star Trek fan, and he's blown away by it every time he pops in.
Oh, so cool. Heather, you know the sublime beauty of living with the land. Yeah.
Yes, I do. I do. And also, if you go to the restaurant Space 220, there's a rotating lettuce cabbage display thing there. So, but I said hello to the lettuce because it's important that you talk to your plants. So
it is.
It's good to say hi.
We're often playing music here while we're working, so the lettuce has to rock out to whatever we're listening to that day.
I get
love
very
it.
excited about space lettuce. So that's so cool, man. Well, thank you for calling in. It's a pleasure to meet you and your lettuce. And tell us what's on your mind about Strange New Worlds.
Well, I mean, this particular episode might not be one that I go back to a whole lot. I'm not really into the zombie storyline. It's just not a storyline that I like in any kind of genre. But what really stood out to me was, and a lot of other callers have talked about it as well, as Mbenga and his ongoing storyline. I mean, it's a character that we've known has existed for almost 60 years, but we've basically known nothing about him. And it's been great to see how Strange New World is really filling in his backstory. And I mean, I never expected it to be so dark. There's no hint of that really in TOS. And so seeing how they're filling that in, and then I'm wondering how they get to the Mbenga we see in TOS. He's no longer the chief medical officer, so how does that happen? Does he decide to take a step back to deal with his PTSD and all of that? Does he get demoted because of some sort of consequence that like you guys were talking about earlier? And I'm really hoping that they kind of fill that out, and that we really get to see that storyline develop properly over the next kind of 2.5 seasons that we have left with the character.
Yep, 100%. And I think that we will. I really do, because in this episode, like, okay, and Under the Cloak of War, he talks about the fact that, he never knows when the monster will come back. Like, that's how the episode ends. And in this episode, we're really in a better place. Like, he has the choice to kill Baitha, and he doesn't. And I think, I don't know, I'm really hoping that we will get there somewhere. I didn't even expect to have this moment and have this episode, honestly. I thought we might just to be left forever.
I was a little surprised by it too.
Yeah. And so knowing these writers and knowing that they want to walk us all the way to TOS, like, I'm hopeful that we will get that. I think that we will. So let's cross our fingers.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think another thing that we've got going for us is Babs is just such an incredible actor. Like, he's really hitting it out of the park with this role. I'm just captivated every time he's on screen. And so I think the writers see that too. And we'll hopefully get a lot more of him over the next 20 episodes that we have left with them.
Hard agree. Yeah, I think it's one of the smartest things that this series has done, which is, I said in a previous episode, we got Scotty. That's fine. I don't need a meet cute between Scotty and Kirk. I just assume that he's going to show up at some point anyway, so we don't need to spend a lot of time there. But you take a character like Mbenga, who just kind of shows up on TOS, okay, well, he's a doctor. He does things. He does doctor things. And that's all we know. To be able to give him a really complex, interesting backstory, I think that's where this series can really shine. Same thing with Pike. Just to have a guy who's living with this knowledge about his own fate, and we get to fill in because we don't have a lot of Pike. Spend time there. Let's spend time with those characters, and Una, of course. I think Spock's wonderful. Glad to have him there. I think Uhura's wonderful. Glad to have her there. But I know so much about them already that I don't need just a ton of attention on them for this series in particular. Julian, you and your plants, call back anytime, all right?
I'll try to, and if I don't, just know I'm always listening. All right, thanks a lot.
Take care. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's wrap up the show tonight with Cherie. Glad to see you, Cherie. And you got our Strange New Worlds cat.
Moopsie.
And Moopsie. Oh, wait, you're muted. There we go. All right.
I have Moopsie, a different kind of monster.
Yeah. The cutest kind.
Not the monster inside you, the monster that eats your bones. Yeah, of course.
Eats what's inside you.
Eats what's inside you. Yes.
Yes. So what do you think of tonight, Cherie?
So I am not personally a fan of zombies, so that part of the episode was not particularly interesting to me, but I did appreciate that it actually wasn't super important to the episode, I guess.
Right.
Although that kind of begs the question why it was really necessary. I mean, I guess it kind of was just to move the plot in the direction of what was happening and to have a like scary well,
it's interesting. You could have designed the obstacle to get them to the point that they need to leave and have this showdown. You could have designed that obstacle to really be anything. So why it's zombies, not sure. And even if you go that direction and say, well, we do have phenomena on Earth, like we've talked on Mission Log before about the fungus that takes over ants and kind of directs them. It is disgusting and creepy and weird and scary, but you could do another thing. And but they just decided, no, we're going full on zombie, so Pike can say zombie.
So, yeah, and I think it's because zombies. Like I know I'm in the minority opinion. I know a lot of people really like zombies. I just think they're dumb a lot of times, like both literally and figuratively. So it just annoys me. Most zombie plots annoy me. There's like a few exceptions, although I do like the Enterprise zombie episode actually.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I feel like it's because it's so dumb, it circles back around to me.
Well, you know what they say, there's a fine line between stupid and clever. So,
and sometimes they're both.
Earl says zombies have been done to undeath. Yeah. What else are you thinking tonight, Cherie?
What I did like, though, about the episode is I did like the story behind the Klingon woman who was hunting down Mbenga, and it wasn't because she like cared about her father. She also thought that they basically both hated that man and both wanted him to die, but because of like the structure of Klingon honor, so he kind of like grudgingly had to respect her because it was just like, yeah, I get how that works.
I get you.
Yeah.
Right. Well, again, for every infraction, the Klingons have an honorable excuse to get out of it. Yeah, I like that.
So I did like that aspect, but yeah, like it was. I felt like the zombies were unnecessary.
Fair enough. Oh, yeah, and thank you, Ashley, for reminding our Klingon adversary in this is Baitha, and I kept forgetting.
Yes.
And I don't know if we got names of the other two. And by the way, one of my notes here, just randomly, when did the Klingons start doing whimsically designed shuttles? Because
that was a really cool shuttle.
Yeah, but I didn't know that they did whimsical designs. I love seeing the classic D7 battle cruiser. That was cool. Their shuttle was a bit 1980 Flash Gordon, which I love, but I was a little surprised by it.
I could headcanon that it's not actually a Klingon shuttle because like it didn't sound like her family was in particularly good standing. She might have had to steal it from somebody.
They stole it. Even better. Okay.
Some other type of shuttle.
Earl's got it. It was the same shuttle as in Disco Season 1. That's what I had heard, that it was a disco shuttle.
Oh, okay. So it is a leftover.
She stole it from the other show.
Exactly. Yeah. Excellent. All right, Cherie, thank you so much. We're going to wrap things up here. Always nice to see you. And
could I throw in like one more thing?
Yeah, please.
Just wanted to say, like, it seems like every mission that Strange New Worlds is off the books these days, though.
Right?
There's a hegemony one was off the books. This one's off the books. Everything's off the books now.
There's a lot of going rogue. Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah, I think you can only play that hand so many times. Yeah. All right. Well, take care. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.
Heather, what a jam-packed episode. I always like to ask you have a note, a comment, something that you need to get off your chest.
I have 3 things. I'm so sorry. I'll be quick.
Please do it.
So, of all the PTSD veterans, we've completely forgotten Chapel. Like, she was a main plot point in Under the Cloak of War, but she's okay now because she's preoccupied with Corby, I guess. I revisited the episode and I was like, geez, what happened? And
funny line though, by the way, that Pike just throws that out to Mbenga. Like, what do you think about Christine and Corby?
Yeah, right.
Just,
I
you
did.
know.
I was like, huh, okay, okay.
Uh-huh.
But speaking of Chapel, there was the Spock smack in this episode that that Chapel smacked, you know, during the Gorn mind meld, the mind meld with Batel.
Yeah.
Chapel gave Spock the big smack. So David Takechi mentioned in the chat that Mbenga had done that, had told Chapel to do that in the TOS episode A Private Little War. And I've been rewatching TOS, so I just watched this over the weekend. And so I caught that and I just thought, oh, that's just such a good little callback moment.
Wow.
Because Chapel wouldn't do it. Chapel wouldn't do it in that episode. So now she did it. Now she did the smack. So
wow.
Congratulations on smacking people. I mean, it's not great, but
but what a Spock smack that was. Yeah.
Right. We had to do it. Mortagus, look, I was actually I was disappointed in the path that we've I want to see Ortega's happy and living her best life.
Sure.
I don't want to see more difficulties for Mortagus, but we asked for Mortagus and we are getting Mortagus, and so we're getting what we asked for. And I really do hope that we see a bit more, and I really do hope that it goes to a better path. But I'm right there with Alan. Really hope that it gets better. And you just don't know with Erica because Erica's not there in the future. So everybody cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Spock, cross them all.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
and
that.
Let's hope the Spock cross. Okay. Let's hope for the best for her. We're sending it out there for Mortagus to get better in the future and to not be, I don't know. I hope you're okay, girl. That's all I got to say.
I agree. I only have a couple of notes that I didn't get to, but please somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is the first time we've seen the Enterprise itself in Zero-G, and I loved those effects. I thought that was very cool. Also, very short fuse on the phaser overload. I mean, Mbenga says do it, and then boom, that thing explodes. And most of the time we see a much longer fuse on that. Also, word to the wise here, need I remind anybody that when you beam up two people with a mysterious alien flower, that's how you get a Tuvix. Do you want another Tuvix? Because that's how you get one. All right?
I would love another Tuvix, personally.
You know who wouldn't? Janeway. And with that, Mission Log Live is produced by Roddenberry Entertainment. Technical production on Mission Log and Mission Log Live by the incoercible Earl Green. Be sure to visit podcast.roddenberry.com for the latest from Roddenberry Podcasts. If you would like to support Mission Log directly, give us a look at patreon.com/missionlog. Thanks to everyone who joined us live or later. We look forward to seeing you all next week. Choke on me, you filthy targs.